I never thought a single glance could change anything in my life. I never believed in those fleeting, movie like moments where two strangers meet and suddenly the air feels different. Yet, it happened to me. It wasn't planned, it wasn't expected, it was just a Tuesday morning when I carried myself to work like always, tired from routine, heavy with thoughts that rarely mattered. And then, out of nowhere, there he was. It started as simply as a coffee, a little corner shop I always passed, a place that smelled of warmth and cinnamon and conversations between strangers. I remember that morning vividly, not because it was extraordinary in any obvious way, but because of him. He sat at a table across from mine, quiet, leaning forward, his hands wrapped around a mug as if he needed its warmth more than the drink itself. His eyes, they caught me off guard. They were not sparkling or bright like stories often tell. They were heavy, shadowed, as if carrying something unspoken, something unfinished. And for reasons I can't explain, I looked back. It wasn't curiosity, it was recognition. Though I had never seen him before, recognition of something I, too, carried inside me. That restlessness, that quiet surge. He noticed, his eyes lifted, and for the smallest second, our gazes locked. My chest tightened, like I had been caught doing something I shouldn't, but instead of looking away, he smiled faintly, almost apologetically, yet warm enough that it reached me. I don't know what pushed me, but I smiled back. That was the beginning. Not love, not a story written in fireworks and confessions, just a glance, a smile, silence, stretched between two tables. Later, I would wonder if silence itself had brought us together. Are you okay? I had asked him, hesitant, my voice barely above the noise of the shop. It felt absurd, asking a stranger such a question, but something about him demanded it. He lifted his gaze again, as if surprised I had spoken. His lips curved slightly, and he answered, I'm all right, just a little lost maybe. Sometimes life doesn't sit right, you know? Something in his voice echoed inside me, not the words, but the weight they carried. I understood without trying. I had been living in the same space for months, functioning, surviving, yet never really feeling alive. We spoke after that, not much at first, small things, names, fragments of our days. His name was Daniel, a name as simple as his presence, yet layered with unspoken stories. He told me he used to have a clear path, a sense of certainty, but life had taken turns sharper than he imagined. He laughed while saying it, but his eyes betrayed him again, heavy with the truth of loss. And me? I told him enough to make sense, not enough to unravel. I told him I worked in a job that paid bills but rarely sparked joy, that I had a partner, someone steady, kind, predictable. I didn't say his name at first, didn't explain why my voice grew hollow when I mentioned him, because I already knew why. Days passed, and yet somehow Daniel and I kept crossing paths. The same coffee shop, the same quiet smiles. It wasn't forced. It was as if the universe decided to keep nudging us closer. We began to talk more, letting conversations stretch into hours without noticing. There was something about him. He didn't make me laugh uncontrollably. He didn't shower me with flattery or try to impress me. He simply listened. He looked at me as if every word I said mattered. He asked questions that weren't surface level, and when I answered, I found myself revealing more than I meant to. He told me about his own battles, dreams lost, people gone, mistakes he couldn't take back. He wasn't seeking sympathy. He was sharing fragments of himself, trusting me with them. I realized then that I hadn't felt truly seen in a long time. My partner, let's call him Ryan, was good to me, steady, safe. But safety and warmth are not always the same thing. With Ryan, conversations often felt like tasks. What do we eat? Did you pay that bill? Are you free this weekend? Somewhere along the way, the spark we once had dulled into habit. And now, here was Daniel reminding me what it felt like to be curious about someone, to wonder what they were thinking when they stared out a window. to feel that pull in your chest when silence between you wasn't empty but alive. I knew it was dangerous, but knowing doesn't always stop you from feeling. One evening, as we sat outside under the dim glow of the shop lights, he looked at me with that searching gaze and asked softly, "Do you feel it too? That there's something here?" The air tightened. My heart stumbled. I wanted to deny it, to laugh it off, to tell him he imagined it, but I couldn't. My lips trembled with the truth. "Yes," I whispered, "but I don't know if it's right." He looked down, his fingers tracing the rim of his cup. Silence stretched again, but this time it carried weight. His eyes lifted, meeting mine with a tenderness that nearly broke me. "I don't either, but it's there, and pretending it isn't feels impossible." I didn't answer. My silence was already loud enough. That night, I couldn't sleep. Ryan was next to me, breathing evenly, unaware of the storm in my chest. I stared at the ceiling, guilt weaving through every thought. What was wrong with me? Why wasn't this enough? The stable love, the predictable comfort. Why did one stranger's gaze shake me more than years of companionship? The next day, I told Ryan the truth. "Not everything, just enough." "Ryan," I said, my voice unsteady, "I don't know how to explain this, but I don't feel the same anymore, not like before." His eyes widened, confusion and pain flashing all at once. "Is there someone else?" I froze. The answer wasn't simple. There was no affair, no betrayal in the physical sense, but in my heart, in the unspoken, there was Daniel. "I don't know," I finally whispered. "I think I just feel lost. I don't want to hurt you." Ryan's silence was heavier than any words. He sighed deeply, then nodded as if he already knew. "If your heart's somewhere else, I can't hold you back. But I need honesty. That's all I ask." His kindness broke me more than anger would have. I met Daniel again, carrying the weight of my unraveling relationship. We walked slowly down quiet streets, the world around us fading as if it didn't matter. "What do you want?" he asked me gently. It was the simplest question, yet the hardest. What did I want? Him, freedom, certainty, or just clarity within myself? I inhaled, my chest tight. "I don't know. I thought I did, but I think I need to find myself before I can give myself to anyone else." He nodded, though I could see the disappointment flicker in his eyes. He wanted me to choose him. Part of me wanted to as well. But deep down, I knew it wasn't about choosing between men. It was about choosing myself. We stopped walking. He turned to me, his eyes reflecting both sadness and understanding. "Maybe we met at the wrong time," he said softly. "Maybe," I whispered, my throat aching. "But maybe we were meant to meet anyway, to remind each other of something we'd forgotten." He smiled faintly, the kind of smile that hides pain. "You're right. Some people are not meant to stay, only to change us." Our goodbye wasn't dramatic. No grand gestures, no desperate embraces, just silence. A silence that held everything we couldn't say. It's been months since then. Sometimes I pass that coffee shop and feel the echo of his presence, like a memory etched into the air. I don't look for him, I don't expect him, but I carry him with me, not as regret, but as a reminder. A reminder that sometimes the heart wakes up in unexpected ways, that sometimes we meet the right person at the wrong time, and sometimes the bravest thing we can do is walk away before we break more than we can mend. I'm still searching, still learning what it means to be whole on my own, but I know now that love isn't just about holding on, it's also about letting go when the time demands it. And when silence finds me again, I won't be afraid of it, because I'll know it isn't emptiness, it's a space where truths live, waiting for us to listen.